Hello everybody and welcome back to the Brightworks and another exciting match, a beyond all reason, a particularly exciting match because I do believe this is a warm-up match, getting ready for the 5 versus 5 tournament. Today we've got some powerhouses on the map today and I'm excited to show off exactly, well, what they show off on the field. So spawning on the southern side of the blue team, representing them with 46 true skill and silver chevrons to boot, goes by the name of Stardom. Infamously powerful player, well known for their free-for-all skills. Certainly applies to team games as well. You're going to be spawning in the backline going for bots, probably going to be going for either eco or air. I'm not sure exactly which because it's Cortex. I'm willing to bet that it's probably going to be air just because those shurikens are extremely powerful, especially when you have the APM to micro them while actually keeping your economy in check. I expect some big things here from the blue commander all the way across the map on the left-hand side of the front lines. A commander that goes by the name of Nazah, going to be holding the front for the blue team here, leading them to victory, presumably hailing from the bright land of Canada. Coming in with 43 true skill and silver chevrons as well. You can see the chevron count, definitely slightly in favor of the red team here, but across the board, the true skill numbers speak for themselves here. This is a absolutely pro level match. I'm pretty much certain that these guys were practicing for the 5v5 tournament. I don't have exact confirmation of that, but, well, it's a 5v5, and at people of this skill level, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up, maybe they're testing their teams, right? Seeing out, maybe testing some build order or something like that. Should be some damn good fun. If you're interested, by the way, in the 5v5 tournament, I do believe qualifiers are closed by now, but you should definitely check it out. I believe the qualifiers are going, or sorry, registration is closed. Qualifiers are going to be on the 17th, I believe, the Sunday, and then the 23rd, I believe, is the actual date of the main event. That's all in the announcements page on the official Beyond Our Reason Discord. I'll have a link to that down below in case you're interested. And in case you haven't joined up on the official Beyond Our Reason Discord, you can also join mine down there as well in case you want to join in on the Brightworks exclusive. Always happy to have more and more people joining up right there. Resbot is already out and the grunt is already onto the middle of the field here. We do have more and more grunts coming out right now from the purple commander. We went for the triple mech start here instead of the one mech grunt spam. It's a build order that we've seen quite a lot actually, especially on Supreme Straits. It seems like it's really powerful. A little bit less powerful against somebody else who knows how to counter it by just producing an equivalent amount of units, but already this Resbot has eaten enough metal to justify its cost here on the front line. I mean, we are going to lose the grunt. We are going to lose control over the middle of this island, and there is another Resbot. Oh no, don't lose the Resbot. Oh, no. Oh, okay, an eye for an eye there, I guess. Losing that Resbot definitely hurts. We already have another one headed down on the field. Let's Roll already has one already up on the island, though. Well, okay, there we go. You don't want to throw those Resbots away. 110 metal apiece, making up about 1/10 of the economy in the early game that you start with, can definitely be very, very expensive. So the red team going heavily into naval production here. I actually really like it. Yeah, going into multiple naval labs. Those boats are extremely, extremely efficient against land-based units, and there's not really anywhere for the land units to hide from boats out in the middle of this ocean area, this kind of island archipelago over here in the middle of the map. Certainly any units that are caught up on land right there are going to be prone to destroyer fire as soon as those start hitting the field, and the Riptides are going to be more than enough to blast away. Even medium tanks are going to struggle quite a little bit from those super heavy hitting boats here. Yeah, Jondo has gone for a naval lab over here on the left hand side for the blue team. Yeah, that naval firepower though is going to be really difficult to counter. So obviously the Navy is nullified if you can either get across the map or stay on your side of the map where those Navy units can't reach. But if you stay on your side, you give up a tremendous amount of economy right here in the middle of the map, and certainly the blue team is not eager to give that up. Submarine here going to be firing away at a bunch of these frigates. Definitely a great move to go for those submarines. Those Armada submarines a little bit cheaper here. Where's the submarine? There it is. The EL, 440 metal as opposed to 510, I believe it is, for the Cortex submarine. We can verify that real quick. 580, actually. Yeah, quite a bit more expensive for those Orcas. They're much more durable, but very expensive. Nizal also going into a naval lab. This is interesting. Okay. Everybody going into naval lab here for the red team. That's definitely a cheeky play. Mostly funded by a lot of that metal that came back in the early game, but at this point, all of it is under the control right here of the purple player, who's going to be feeding more and more of that juicy steel back to his team, and the grunts up on the high ground. Well, they go down, but eventually that trade, I think, was well worth it to claim most of that battlefield. Eventually, Sargeras is going to move the commander forward here. It's very difficult, though. As you start moving forward, these frigates can infinitely kite a commander just about always. They're going to be able to efficiently kite out a commander because they're so slow in the water, as opposed to the frigates. The commander as opposed to the frigates. This is a tricky battle. This is a really, really tricky battle. What an excellent map, by the way. I don't know if I said the name of the map. Sorry, Tropical Assault version 3.0 is the name of this map. In case you're interested and want to try it out for yourselves, you're always more than welcome to. Yeah, Jondo going for the repair right there. Nicely done. We're focusing on the Dolphin, though. Oh, yeah, we needed that. We needed that poor Elsaw to be repaired right there. Unfortunately, it does go down right there for the Lime Green Commander. At the very least, we can res it or reclaim it here. Yeah, we do have the Resbot. Actually, I would love to see a res right now. Resbots can resurrect ships. It's an interaction we don't see all too often, but whenever we do, it can be quite nice. Yeah, this is huge, though. Let's Roll supported by these frigates, which are extremely difficult to kill, and then, of course, he has his own ground units on the field, which are also going to make this very, very difficult. Stardom going into boats eventually in the backline here. Going to claim a tremendous portion of this economy right here using a constructor or two moving forward. Love to see it. Constructor on the front lines gets blasted apart right here by the grunts from Let's Roll. Really nice aggression. Ambulatory in a lot of trouble, too. Going to be forced to collect that commander if those frigates get aggressive. Oh, wow. The metal extractors in the water even stick out so those frigates can blast them away. Yeah, this is definitely hurting right here. The blue team has expended tremendous resource to keep all of these units in the, or to keep control over the middle of this island. But the red team has just built up their economies and built up their forces and sort of surrounded the blue team, who is now feeling that pressure on all sides right now. Really, really difficult to hold. Rocketeers trying their very best. Cortex Rocketeers, that is, aggravators. We do have a jellyfish coming up, the coastal torpedo launcher. Not bad, certainly can do some serious damage to these boats. It's one of those damage over time things. You really have to catch your opponents lingering in your effective field of fire. Not on its own extremely dangerous. That destroyer also capable of outranging it, which is something to remember. Going to be more than happy to blast away at anything out in the distance. Big old naval battle over here too. Man, what a good Navy map. Doesn't even seem like that much of a Navy map, but it really does become important. There's a constructor building a torpedo launcher over here. That's quite funny. Oh, are we gonna get it? Oh, just barely. Don't get the constructor over here. The torpedo launcher will live. What a play right there. Yeah, control D. John Doe. Okay, nice set of D-guns right there. Blasting away a whole bunch of those. Has the energy for the D-guns, so that's always nice to see. Using it effectively here, but having to lose so much of the economy over here wasn't really worth it. Now all that reclaim is going to be going back to Nizah, who's absolutely won the lane over there. Start on building a tremendous army over on this side, though. We do have 5 frigates over here. 6 soon to be. Submarines are being pumped out right now by Pyrotech, though. And those submarines, they hit hard, especially against frigates, which cannot shoot down into the water at them. Love the submarines being used, though, as a harassment tool. We're going to go after the constructors. We're going to go after the metal extractors, denying some of that economy, slowing down the death spiral here. You can see the red team taking a little bit of an economy hit in the early game, giving up that center island, but now recuperating from it by using so much of that army that they have. Midfit's production center is, yeah, gonna go down right here. Those submarines didn't actually manage to kill the frigates that were pushing across. So it's essentially the same thing we see happen to medium tanks all the time, where the medium tanks are too difficult to stop because they have so much health, but they're not actually a, you have units to kill them, you just can't kill them in time, is what I'm trying to say. Tidal generators over here. Gonna start falling as well for the yellow commander. I have a feeling that constructors forfeit as well. Should only take a couple of blasts here to shut that down. Both laboratories going down here is really huge, though. I love that we have the construction ship as well to reclaim all this. It's actually really, really nice. Could swing the metal advantage back into the favor of the blue commander, who does have to address this massive army on the left-hand side here. We're absolutely swinging away at each other. Eye for an eye. Red commander pushing in this direction, blue commander pushing in this direction. It's just a matter of who crumbles first, and right now it's definitely looking like the blue team is losing ground a lot quicker than the red team. Suddenly, Napoleon Bonaparte has captured this center island along with the help of Pyrotech right there. Kill a KP, setting up a defensive setup over here on this island, with Pyrotech already locking down this one as well. Took down that jellyfish, by the way, which is always nice to see. Those can be extremely painful. It's a good example of exactly how dangerous those frigates are against land. You can see not a single shot was fired by any of those thugs, but those frigates easily outclassed it. Destroyer gets caught here. Actually, the frigates win this fight. Yeah. Destroyers easily, or sorry, frigates easily win this fight. Destroyers' raw DPS is not tremendous. It's the fact that they can fire away. They're essentially a siege unit. An extremely, extremely expensive siege unit. Nice catch over here, too. Yeah, actually catching a lot of these destroyers without a frigate escort. Suddenly losing a tremendous portion of the economy, or proportion of the army, I mean. At least as far as metal cost goes. Midfit restarts the lab right here, at the very least. That's nice. Some blue units, by the way, did sneak around into the back over here. Stardom's been having these poor gunboats over here that have not had really any opportunity to do much, just on account of them being effectively unable to attack under the water. Great for patrol craft. Not great for actually dealing with any submarines or anything like that. Stardom going for the self-D there. You can see the commander just moments away from self-destructing underneath all these. It's a tricky trade-off. You have to give up your entire lab, essentially, here to catch some of these boats. Stardom knows it. Not a comfortable decision right there. The build power is being targeted. Smart move by the red commander, Nizah. Manages to blast down the build power, and the factory will be next. Crumbling swiftly here. Single frigate trying its best, but unfortunately not going to be enough firepower to deal with the massive forces right here for the red commander. Stardom steps out of the water. Curious why we stepped out of the water. Oh, it was to go for some D-guns. Unfortunately, those frigates are too strong. Ooh, okay, clever cloak right there. Very close call. That was an extremely close call for Stardom right there. Damn near lost the commander, but unfortunately managed to keep it alive with a nicely timed cloak. Speaking of commanders down, though, Sargeras does lose the commander on the front right here. Resbot immediately jumps on top of that corpse. Beautifully done. Paid for by a T2 transition. That the loss of the ground on the front line was the price the purple commander paid in order to get these T2 units on the field. So the question is, how much can these fiends do? The answer is a lot. They can certainly push back a T1 army quite effectively here. They're even dangerous against commanders, so it might even be a wise idea to try and push into this commander right here in hot pink. Yeah, I mean, blown apart goes away. So does the entire army over there. Yeah, nice snipe over here on this commander as well. Looks like that was Pyrotech's commander going down over there in the water. Quite a nice little snipe. Killa KP also has those T2 bots up and running, so we're going to see fiends coming out here eventually. T2 is up and running in the backline for the red team. Is well, okay, more or less. 2 air transitions, though. That's quite cheeky. Yeah, we've got bombers being built in the back by Pyrotech, and then we've got a seaplane transition right here from Nizam, both of which realizing, hey, if we've won our lane effectively, there's no reason to stick around on a unit comp. They can't actually do much more work in the seas. Effectively, the sea lane is won. That's what they're saying to me right now. Yeah, T2 Lab is coming up right here for Stardom. At this point, I can't help but wonder if just buying a T2 constructor wouldn't be a better... Oh, there is actually a T2 constructor. Ah, this is always tricky. This is a this used to be a thing that you essentially couldn't avoid, but now it's something that you actually, as someone who goes for tech and who sells constructors, you actually have to be aware of this. When a constructor is built, and it automatically latches onto the factory. If you hand it over, it won't stop producing out of the factory, so you can sort of quote unquote steal from your teammates because they end up accidentally contributing a whole lot to building your units or your structures or whatever it should happen to be. You're essentially siphoning their economy, which is not heinous, you know, as an accident, but can definitely be a bit frustrating to look back at that and wonder just how many thousands of metal has this constructor contributed towards units that weren't even weren't even blue here. Yeah, Stardom has no idea. That sucks. That's the kind of thing that is extremely clear in hindsight, but very easy to lose track of in actual live match. Lot to keep track of here. The air lab for ambulatory could produce a couple of fighters here, maybe stop these bombers that are coming in, but my goodness, that's a lot of bombers. Yeah, we're looking at a grand total of 17 whirlwinds coming in here. Those are the Cortex T1 bombers. They hit pretty hard. They are definitely a substantial force. There you go. You can see they dropped all their payload, or most of their payload, connecting with the purple army right here. Certainly doing some good work. Yeah, air lab is spotted right over here. Nice targeting right there. Yeah, the air player immediately targets down the other air player, making sure that no more fighters are going to be built here. We need anti-air essentially immediately for everybody in every one of these bases. T2 Lab going to be bombed out of existence here as well. Very nicely done. Killer airstrikes right there from the yellow player, and I do believe that will be the move that seals this game. We just need to do a little bit more damage, kind of distribute the bombing all over the place here just so that we attack whatever we need to over on this side. Interesting cue we've gone for here. We've set targeted on a whole bunch of stuff, and now we're just flying the bombers around. There we go. Looks like we're going to manually target down the T2 Lab over on this side. Love to see it. Yeah, anti-air started up over here, but still nowhere near enough. T1 Army pushes in with that T2 Lab out of the game. Only mere moments before the blue team crumbles under the weight of the red. Very, very nicely done with that air transition here from the yellow commander. Excellently timed, realizing, hey, wait a second, we've actually won the naval field, so there's not really a great reason to continue pumping out units in the seas. I might as well transition into something a little more useful here, and deciding to go into those T1 bombers. Easy to misjudge that and think that maybe you should go into T2, step up the tech level. This was a great observation, great analytical skills, realizing the weakness here and exploiting it to inevitably bring around a red victory. Nicely done by the red team. Can't wait to see these guys playing in the 5v5 tournament, and I hope you guys are excited for it as well. If you enjoyed this match, you can always show your support by liking and subscribing and all that good stuff that every YouTuber likes to mention at the end of the video. But other than that, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the very next cast of Beyond All Reason. Peace out, everybody.